solar homestead. We learn finance, permaculture and prepping. A modern view of the world. Don't forget, freedom is in your hands. Stay safe and vigilant, friends. And now your host, Ralph KK. Launch in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Welcome to the podcast. This is me, your host, Ralph KK. It is the summer, or more or less, it's still the summer because in around 2-3 weeks, autumn is coming. The place where I live, most of the time around the 1st of September, just like clockwork. The weather flips, and the 1st of September you will get this autumn weather. So it is very cold, it is very rainy, it is very windy, and the trees, nature, it starts turning red, depending how fast this process goes or already started. So you might see the 1st of September like everything red, leaves falling and these autumn vibes. The thing is, this year has just been crazy. I don't know, I don't have any kind of living memory of having such a crazy year with all so many things happening at once. What to do, you might say, what to do? My best advice for you is get your potatoes and start growing potatoes. This might be your only way of survival for the coming apocalypse. Although, there are I suppose there are other options, there are other plants that you could grow, but I don't know, I think in my own opinion, potatoes are the easiest, most caloric dense and crop giving multiplier that you could get. So grow your potatoes and get ready for the apocalypse. So today's podcast is going to be about cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin. Currently in the news, you would see everybody saying that, Bitcoin, it is dead, cryptocurrency, it is dead. Everything is going to zero. And believe me when I tell you this is not the first time that I've heard this. So crypto has existed for, let's say, 12 years. I mean, like, since Bitcoin was created. This has been 12 years. And we have seen something like 4 or 5 cycles of a bear bull market, bear bull, so 4 or 5 cycles, So, and every bear cycle, which is usually every 4 years, the same thing happens. Mainstream media, celebrities, influencers, everybody says Bitcoin is dead, cryptocurrency is dead, it is going to zero. And it's kind of funny to watch it. I mean, me personally, to see these people, and every cycle you see new people who has not experienced this. So influencers, mainstream media, celebrities, people, that you see in the news. New people, they come, they have never experienced this, and they always say the same thing. They say Bitcoin is dead, it's going to zero. It is very funny to watch because every time they say this, they are wrong. Why Bitcoin cannot die, or why cryptocurrency cannot die? Well, the explanation is rather complex, but in general, the main idea is that cryptocurrency, this is an idea, a technology, a concept that exists. It has existed for 12 years. This is in the mind of people, the concept is in the mind of people, and whatever happens, even if it goes to zero, cryptocurrency will not cease to exist. But it will never go to zero because there will always be people who find value in all these kind of different cryptocurrencies, and as long as there is people who find value, there will be cryptocurrencies with a price, so they will never go to zero. This is just not possible. So every time somebody says cryptocurrency is going to zero, they will disappear, whatever. They don't know what they are talking about. Then, secondly, when people say Bitcoin specifically is going to zero, they absolutely don't understand the concept or the idea of what Bitcoin is. So to make it short, Bitcoin is a deflationary currency. Every 4 years, the daily mining rewards, they are cut in half. So the production of Bitcoin every 4 years, it is reduced, and it's going to be reduced for the next 100 years until it reaches the maximum cap, which is 21 million coins of Bitcoin. Of these 21 million coins, already probably 5 million have been lost, so probably the total supply is going to be like 16 million. And I think within the next 100 years, there is only left like 2 million Bitcoin to be mined. So the supply, it is extremely scarce. So as every 4 years, the production gets cut in half, it becomes more and more scarce, and this will keep going for 100 years. So when people say that Bitcoin is going to zero, this just sounds like stupidity. Or the people who say this, they just sound very dumb when you really understand what Bitcoin is. Then, second point of Bitcoin, it is that it is decentralized. You have nodes, let's say computers, all around the world connected to the internet, and each computer, each node, it hosts all the transactions of the Bitcoin network from 12 years ago until now. So each node in each different country, in different places all around the world, it is hosted by people, by organizations, by companies, all kinds of different hosts, let's call it like this, different hosts. The numbers, they are not exactly accurate, but there is hundreds of thousands of people hosting Bitcoin nodes. You don't need to be mining Bitcoin to be a host. To have a node, you don't need to mine Bitcoin. So you can host a node on a calculator, basically, on a Raspberry Pi. These very cheap mini computers, you buy them for like $50, $100, and you can host your Bitcoin node on a Raspberry Pi. You are just, if you host a node, you are checking the validity of the transactions and reassuring the consensus that this is right and that this is true. So this is how the network works. So the meaning of Bitcoin being decentralized, this means that there is not just one entity behind the network. There is hundreds of thousands of people, entities that have their nodes. Therefore, it is impossible to get rid of Bitcoin or to destroy it or to control it. It is just impossible. Therefore, you cannot kill Bitcoin and Bitcoin cannot go to zero. These are the two main points. And now check this out. We are at a critical point of the bear market. A lot of people think that the price will keep going down to $15,000, $10,000, $5,000 per coin. This is highly unlikely. And today I'm gonna tell you a little secret. There is a chart called the rainbow chart. The Bitcoin rainbow chart. This shows you the lowest point in time and price, and also highest point in time and price that Bitcoin is at during a specific time. So when in the rainbow chart, the price of Bitcoin, it is like it is called the rainbow chart because there is like different colors. Right now it is in the blue zone, and this is the lowest possible zone where it could be. This is all based obviously in mathematical calculations, AI and so on, yeah. So today we're at the lowest point in the blue zone that where it could get. So in theory, we could be, or we are at the bottom of the bear market. And so far, for approximately 10 years, maybe 10, maybe 8, when this chart was created, for this time it has always proven to be right. In the rainbow chart, when Bitcoin reaches the blue zone, this usually marks the bottom of a market. Also, during bull markets, when it goes high and it reaches almost the red zone, this like red purple, this also usually shows you the top of the Bitcoin market where it currently is at. So what does this mean? This could mean that if you buy Bitcoin today at the price that is at in the blue zone, which today it is like $22,000, this could mean that you're buying at the real price or a undervalued price. So you could buy today and not be afraid that tomorrow will drop to 10,000 or 5,000 or whatever. Of course, this is never guaranteed, but it is highly likely. In my own personal experience for the past 10 years in the cryptocurrency market, I have usually bought cryptocurrency when Bitcoin is at or in this blue zone at the bottom. It's almost like clockwork. Of course, it might always go lower, it might go down, but this point, it is always the bottom, regardless if it stays there 6 months, 1 year, whatever. It could even stay there 1 year, 2 years, but this is the bottom. So also you should consider when you're making like investments, you don't buy something today to sell it in 1 month or 2 weeks or whatever. When you make investments, you're usually going to sit on it for years. Like you buy a house today, you have to sit on it for, I don't know, 3-5 years, 10 years to make a profit. So when you make investments, you have to think like going for the really long term. Today might just be the day where Bitcoin has bottom. Also in the cryptocurrency market, a very big important event is going to happen with Ethereum. It is called the merge, when Ethereum is moving from proof of work to proof of stake. It is being scheduled for approximately like 1 month. So sometime in September, like from 1 month from now, like the 15th of September or something like this, the chain will transition to proof of stake. If you're not sure what proof of work or proof of stake is, I think you should Google it. You will get longer, better explanations. I could just tell you here in 1 minute, yeah? So, also when a chain is forked, something magical happens. When a chain transitions from the old chain to the new chain, there can be many different forks. So let's say you have 1 Ethereum in your wallet. Ethereum transitions to proof of stake. So one chain will be accepted as the true successor or the real Ethereum. And you will have your 1 Ethereum equals 1 Ethereum of the new chain. That is going to be Ethereum. But usually there are many forks. So there could be maybe 5 forks of other chains which claim to be the true Ethereum or whatever. So your 1 Ethereum of the real chain, you will also have your 1 Ethereum in the other chains that claim to be Ethereum. So this can be like some kind of smart move or money-making move. If you have some Ethereum, then you go claim the other coins, the forked coins, and then you go either sell it or you keep it, or I don't know, but you will get the other 4 coins for free. The magical word, free. So even though we are in a bear market, the cryptocurrency market is very active and sparkly. What I mean is, regardless of the crash that has happened, because the value of these cryptocurrencies have lost at least, 80% of their value, at least, something like this. Even though this has happened, the people, the developers, the technologies, they just keep going forward, regardless of the price. All of these technologies, they keep going forward, and I might even say that today the development happening is maybe 100 times higher or better than what it was the last cycle in 2017. There are so many applications, products, dApps, all of these things being developed, and there is a huge amount of people involved and working in this, which makes me think that maybe the next cycle in 2024 or 2028, then maybe all of these technologies will finally be implemented all around us. As the so-called utopia of the cryptocurrency people say. And also, in another news, guess what? NFTs, they have not died, and NFTs, they are not going away, regardless of what people say or what people think, because there is so many people that hate on NFTs. It's just a ridiculous amount of people who hate NFTs, and it's just funny to watch or see like these people completely dedicate their whole time, their whole existence to bash or to talk bad about NFTs. It's just amazing. There is a lot of YouTubers which dedicate their whole channel to talk about how bad NFTs are. And before, let's say 1 year ago, 2 years ago, they were just doing their usual thing, be either journalism or video games or whatever. And now today they dedicate their whole life to talk bad about NFTs. Why? I don't know, I just don't understand this kind of people. Maybe they get more a bigger audience when when you hate on something than when you are like positive about something. I don't know. Well, yes, there is a lot of you could say thievery and illegal things happening with NFTs, but as any new technology, as any new product, there will be a lot of experimentation, a lot of things where there is no definition in the law of what you should do or you should not do. Therefore, a lot of you could say illegal things happen, but sometimes not intentional. Sometimes just because there are no rules or restrictions or laws that specifically dictate that you can or you cannot do this. And sometimes this kind of illegal activities with new technologies, sometimes this kind of behavior is needed to push the establishment towards a more friendly or freer nature of copyright or use cases for content. Like last week, for example, there was like a huge scandal with the GameSpot marketplace for NFTs, where some guy, he was posting games made into NFTs, and the games that he was posting, they were not his own games. They were like open source, and he was just taking the code. He implemented them as games and he made them NFTs, and he was selling the NFTs. And then he said, oh no, this is open source, this has no copyright, I can do with this whatever I want. So he was making money from this. He made like $50,000, which is not a lot of money. It is not a lot of money in the NFT space, as when you sell something, this is like peanuts. But people, they made such a huge scandal that why are you taking these games and putting them into NFTs, they don't belong to you, so on and so forth. So the thing is, this is a new technology. There are no rules or specific rules for what you can and you cannot do with NFTs. And sometimes the establishment needs a little push towards a specific direction, so that they are forced to do something which is or can be beneficial for the consumer or for people in general. I could give you an example from the past. Not so long ago, the music industry and the music companies, they had an absolute monopoly on everything, on how music was created, how music was distributed, who would be famous, who would not be famous. Basically, record companies, they made or killed the career of artists. And also all the money in the past, let's say in the 80s up to the 90s, let's say 95, let's say up to 95, all the money went to the record companies, and even today it still goes, but before it was a ridiculous amount of money, like 70%, and 70% to the record company and 30% to the artist. And what happened, you could say, or you could ask, what happened that made the market change? So before there was no internet. Before you had to go to the record shop and you had to buy a cassette, a CD, or some kind of media, and then you would be able to listen to your music, or films, or a specific content, specific media. You had to buy it, and this was only for your personal use. You could only listen to this, but you couldn't do anything else with this. Just listen to this, but don't do anything else with this. And the music industry, they have such a iron grip on the whole market. They wouldn't let anybody do anything without their permission. And then what happened? Some smart guy in the USA created this application called Napster. It was a revolution. you could copy your tracks from your CD, turn them into MP3s, and then distribute these MP3s for free across the internet through torrent, basically something similar to torrent technology. So you would open the application, you would select the track that you want to share, and this would be put into the internet, into the library of Napster of what was being shared, and then so you could search and download specific songs. This was revolutionary. This had never happened before, and so people, they were distributing all these songs for free, peer to peer. And when this happened, oh my gosh, the record industry was furious. And because there were no laws or definitions on how to handle this, it actually took them like a couple of years to finally take down Napster. I think it took them maybe 2-3 years to finally put down Napster and to completely close down the service and the software. But the idea of what Napster was, it was already the concept, it was in the mind of people. So as soon as Napster was taken down, like 100 copycats just came out with the same thing. Then so the torrent technology was created and distributed, and the concept was out there, the idea was out there, and you could not kill it. So all these applications started to come out and started to do the same thing. Share music, share media, share content. And this is how the music industry, they lost their grip. They gripped the iron grip on everything. They were forced to come to terms with people to be less strict, and somehow they had to evolve. They started to accept the distribution of music online, but this took several years. This took something like 10-15 years. And it was, at the time, it was kind of funny because there were some artists which were very vocal about this, that they were against the distribution of their content because it belongs to them. And if you were downloading a song from Metallica, for example, you were contributing to the bankruptcy of Metallica and their record company. Even though they were making hundreds of millions of dollars, your one song, it was damaging them, which was kind of absurd, and it is absurd today. So Napster, this new technology, it forced everything to change. And for example, if Napster never came out, never was created, if torrent technology never came out, never was created, then history would have been different. And then all these companies, all these corporations, they would have never been forced to change. They would have kept with their bad policies, bad acting, and just keep on piling money and do nothing for the consumer. So this is my point, that with NFTs, there is a lot of bad behavior, there is a lot of illegal things happening, but it is a new technology, and sometimes you need this kind of behavior to force laws, to force legislations, to force change in people. This is how you do it. And a lot of people would not like it.
I finally found some eyes that see me from the inside. Nothing left to hide, not even from myself. Oh, 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 darkest parts and let the light in. I wanna call you mine and kiss the night goodbye, and we'll be holding on to the morning dawn, darling. We together, holding on. Tell me what you want, darling. We together, you and me, holding on to the morning dawn, darling. We together, holding on. Tell me what you want, darling. We together, you and me. We can spend our days walking on the bright side. Never have to hide again. Together never has to end. And we'll be holding on to the morning dawn.